Good evening, everyone. It's October 16th, and I'd just like to share something that happened last week between Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it started when I was after this Paris crypt vision and the hell experience in that vision that I had this attack of doubt, the enemy just coming over me and saying, you're not likely going to have anything that incredible ever occur again. And then God was just saying, like in the spirit, saying, no, no, this is just the beginning. And you're gonna have then it was by Saturday morning again, I was hearing God was saying that you're gonna have so much because the enemy was saying you're not gonna have enough to even share on your channel. And I mean, it's not my channel. God asked me to start it. I didn't want to start it. So it was a bit silly, right? But the enemy does that and tries to put fear in you. And God was reassuring, saying, no, you're going to have so much that you're not even going to be able to write about it. You won't even be able to tell people all that's going on. And so, anyway, I mean, that maybe should have been a warning to what was coming. We were going to go watch the Thorn. It was the first time it was playing in Canada in Toronto. And so, as it was going there, driving there, God was like, there's going to be something else happen today. And so I just was, I hear and sometimes things occur the way, I'm hearing and sometimes it's delayed. So I just listen. Um, and God was on early Saturday morning, asked me to prepare some teachings on the levels of hell and heaven, and describing that. I was working on that and sharing more about the hell vision that I didn't share the last time. But regardless, we get into the theater. And sit down and start to enjoy, just the atmosphere before it starts. And then I notice, and I've never seen God in this way. God is sitting above me, above the crowd, in this ghostly form with his feet crossed, like he's ready to sit down and, and watch the show. And I mean, I know it was totally just to get me laughing because he does that. And but I've never seen God do it. It's mostly Jesus, or I'll hear God tell me something that is, usually joking about me being, you know, messing something up or whatever. But then um I saw then next God is sitting on the throne beside Jesus. The show just starts and God literally has a popcorn bag in his hand and he sort of looks, glances to Jesus like, do you want some popcorn? Just like, again, the humor and just like, we're going to be totally in this today. And I'm not getting, what's going on exactly. But then the show, it starts and it gets into more. And then Jesus is baptized. And as he's baptized, I see the Spirit because I'm sort of seeing things now in the spirit realm as it's going on in this play. And I've never experienced so many open-eyed visions at the same time and so much spirit realm and natural realm at the same time as I did this day. And it looks sort of like, I mean, the images that AI create don't do it justice because it was in a play and people were all around. And the spirit realm was just, it was dark in the show, but most of the time I had these visions going on. Like it seemed very bright, but then I would notice the natural realm, it's actually dark. And this went on back and forth. Um, and so that was the first thing that I noticed. And then as the show's going on, I'm noticing other things occurring. And as the enemy is taunting Jesus when he's being whipped, I I see standing all around these enemies, the devils, taunting him like give up. And but then outside of that, there are so many angels. Like I couldn't, it wasn't counting, but I sort of heard, knew there was like 12 legions of angels all around. And then this knowledge came to me that like there is 12 legions of angels all of the time were assigned to him. He was, as he walked in life, like this understanding came to me. He was seeing things like I was seeing them in this moment. He always saw in the spirit realm at the same time as he was watching in the natural. He could see when someone had a devil in them, and he could see when they didn't. And he knew what was going on with them because he was not walking in just the natural. And I also had this knowledge that this is possible too for us. I don't know. It was just like so much being downloaded to me. Like it was like at the same time. And then I and Jesus is there, and as he's being whipped, Jesus is being whipped, and he falls down because he's like he literally being physically worn out. And he turns to the angels because they're about to come up. And he turns to them and glances and pushes his hand off to the side and is like, no, he's restraining the armies that were there to serve him. He's restraining them from destroying the enemy. The enemy wasn't in the same condition as I ever imagined. Like I've never could have imagined what I was seeing. And Jesus stands back up like this level of pain that I was watching him go through. And yet he was doing every bit of it by choice. He knew what he was doing, and he was doing it with the greatest restraint, like that King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He was doing this all while the power was right beside him to do anything he desired, but he didn't. He's always looking at the eyes of his father, always, like he says in the scripture, he was making the choices that his father was telling him, was directing him every moment of his walk. It was just phenomenal. The love and the power that he was wielding and doing it in such humility, like just incredible humility and uh and restraint. Like there's so much power in his restraint. And anyway, and then at this moment, like he comes, like, and I'm like weeping, right? And I'm um watching this, and he comes right out, right beside me, Jesus, and he's looking, sort of sideways, looking at what's going on, and he turns to me and he's like, "I would die and do this 100 times over for you, just for you." I was like enough to knock me down and just be like it was enough that he did it once. And here he's saying, "I'd do it 100 times and think nothing of it because his love is that great." And and then as he's going walking, he's walking up to the up to Gel where he's going to be hung. And they're again, it's the same thing. These angels are all around, but the enemies are taunting him, taunting him, taunting him the whole way. And I come to understand this at the same time. This understanding that this enemy was at the peak of his power. He literally had his foot on the neck of the enemy at this time. Not the enemy. He had his foot. The enemy had his foot on the neck of the Israel. Israel could not stone someone if they wanted to, not legally. To legally do it, they had to get the permission from Rome. And this, like, they couldn't basically follow the law. They weren't allowed to do what the law said they should do. They weren't allowed to remove evil because evil was limiting their ability to do that. And evil was winning, you could say. It was like Jesus came at this like moment in time where like any one more moment longer and evil would have prevailed completely. But I love the fact that like like this never anything, like this story is not finished. With um with God, the story's never finished. We need to see things as he sees them. And I feel like this is now like the first 2000 years I came to understand this too. Like it came to Moses' day and it felt the same thing. There was one man that was saved. One man. And that was it in his house. And the rest were lost. And the enemy again was at his pinnacle of power. And God knocked him down. And he destroyed him. And I feel like now again, here we are another 2000 years later, and it feels like the same thing. The enemy's ruling on all the things in religion, and they're ruling in finance, they're ruling in media, they're ruling all over. And it's just so amazing how the parallels that you can see and can draw. Sorry for my green screen going in and out. Anyway, um, so then as I watched this going on, then Jesus is on the cross now. And as he's on the cross and he's struggling and laboring, like all of heaven is open. Like you could see all of heaven open above him and just shining. Like all of heaven was beholding every step. This was happening from the moment that this persecution was really, really heavy on him and he was being whipped. All of heaven was beholding. It wasn't just the angels around about. Like the angels were there, there was light there, but then above heaven was wide open. Um, and they were so intent and it was silent. Like before this, I like when things were happening in the play, like, and I was in the spirit and in watching at the same time, it wasn't quiet. Um, there was things going on, but this was dead silence in heaven. And Jesus on the cross, again, dead silent. Nothing is being said. It's like they're watching with bated breath this moment in time. And and then finally Jesus takes his last breath. And for me, all of a sudden, I'm taken completely out of the room, and I see Jesus fall back, like the cross. He's on the cross, and he falls back. Oh, yeah, and I am not showing it here, but he falls back into. He goes into hell, and I saw him fall into the same pit that I watched that I'd seen just a few days before, and he falls into it. Except I only was ever on the surface of this pit. Jesus went right into it. I could see sort of through it in a way, like that he's down there through it. And I watched him go through the whole pit, the whole all of hell, and then he comes out the other side, the bottom side of hell, and as he comes through there, all of a sudden there's like boom, it was like it was broken forever. And I could see all of a sudden there's light, like it'd been so dark, and then all of a sudden boom, this light shows up and the clouds are breaking, basically like the clouds breaking after storm. And uh and I just knew I had all of this understanding rushing into my mind that like heaven is broken and there is no power of hell. The power of hell and death has been broken and it's forever, it's permanent. And there is no one going to hell except by choice because there is no power in death because he beat power of death. There's none. Power of the enemy is gone, is defeated completely and utterly. I've never felt it so powerfully like as I was feeling it then. And just this knowing that this is done. And it was such an amazing story because then all of heaven is rejoicing. And then the light comes out, and I'm looking in the natural, and it's still dark in the room again. Like I go in and out between the two. But what I was seeing was different. But it was mirroring what was going on, but it was different. Um, and then let me just go here, and so you see, like all of heaven is rejoicing, and and at this moment in time, um, as I'm watching, and the of course this the story is like so vibrant at this point because Jesus is one, and heaven is one, and um, and then I see like behind every single person, and it's dark still in the studio in this theater. There's like 2,000 people there. It's dark, but in my eyes, I'm seeing every single person. There's an angel behind them, and there's brilliantly like this is just lit like brighter than the noonday sun to me, and seeing in both worlds, and the beauty of it. And again, I'm just weeping, right? Because like, how do you see this and not be completely broken by the beauty of it and the love you're feeling, and then and then they start to sing, "Our God is an awesome God." I think that's what we started singing. Yeah, and and all of the whole back of the theater just blew open, and I could see millions upon millions and millions of people witnessing. It was like I could see everything, all of them worshiping, everyone singing the same song. And it was like, I can't explain to you how amazing it was. Yeah. Yeah. And so I had this understanding after this that God, He called me in April. He said, Ben, you're a prophet, and to share what God is doing and teaching. And like here, I feel like I'm a man out of time, like Paul, like way out of time. But then I feel like I'm comparing myself to Paul. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's like I'm able to witness things that actually happened, like the way it happened in heaven. I don't know why God's chosen me to do it, but it's same way such beauty, and I have to share it. And it's taken a few days just to know how to share this. I don't know. I don't do it justice, but yeah, it's truly it's been amazing for to experience. And anyway, thought I would share that with everyone, and I hope it blessed you. It blessed me.